Whenever you hear about trucks, you'd often think of their sturdiness, durability, and reliability, but that isn't always the case. Sometimes these trucks can perform so badly that they leave you questioning all you know about them. Without further ado, here's a list of 10 trucks so unreliable that they probably can't make it to 60,000 miles. Number 1. 2006 Dodge Ram 2500. If you're a lover of those seriously long cross-country road trips, you probably wouldn't ever want to get stranded halfway through a journey. If that is the case, then the 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 might not be the best truck option for you. Dodge trucks are a massive brand, particularly in the United States, but it doesn't mean they aren't without their faults, as you will soon realize by the end of this video. The 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 was plagued by various reports of suspension issues and bizarre incidents such as the quick side-to-side revolution of its steering wheel during drives. Its composite doors and air conditioner were also said to both be non-functional, which was made worse by the fact that it had no airflow sources such as vents. To make matters even worse, for the 2006 Dodge Ram, its 6.7-liter Cummins diesel engine often suffered from a number of malfunctions. Its diesel particulate filter often got clogged, which caused the engine to build up back pressure, which affected its heat and stress levels. It also suffered turbocharger failures, which led to leaked oil seals, worn bearings, and turbine wheel damage, amongst other problems. Some of the engines also diluted fuel at an excessively high rate, much more than the acceptable range. This affected their oil lubrication and engine protection, and caused the internal engine components to wear out prematurely. Number 2. 2001 Toyota Tundra. Toyota vehicles are known for their reliability, so it's probably a surprise to see one so early on this list. The 2001 Toyota Tundra is about as problematic as you'd ever see a Toyota get. Starting with its structural problems, and there are a lot of them, the 2001 Tundra probably gave its drivers almost no room to enjoy their vehicle. First off, its frame often suffered rust damage, which compromised its structural integrity. Then there were also reports of its brake shuddering while driving, which is a pretty dangerous flaw. The most common complaint about the 2001 Tundra was its suspension, as it suffered from a series of problems such as lower and upper ball joint wear. It also suffered from transmission problems, defective air injection pumps, automatic brake sensor systems failures, and issues with its exhaust system manifold, which worsened its fuel consumption rate and produced unnecessary emissions. All in all, the 2001 Toyota Tundra only did a little harm to Toyota's reputation, and probably did more damage to the environment to its owner's pocket. You know what doesn't do any harm to your pockets? Hitting that like button or subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And now, to the next unreliable truck on our list. Number 3. 2004 Ford F350 5.4-liter Triton V8 engine. Most times, the major problem of an unreliable truck isn't with its body or design features, but with the engines which are responsible for giving it the necessary performance boost. But sometimes it's both. At least that's certainly the case with the 2004 Ford F350, which is powered by the 5.4-liter Triton V8 engine. This truck has been plagued by multiple reports of spark plugs breaking off in or popping out of the engine head. Multiple incidents of the Triton V8 engine either knocking or failing to come on after being turned off have also been reported. The engine occasionally suffers from stalls when coming to a stop, and sometimes vibrates uncontrollably during acceleration. Also, believe it or not, it whistles when it's cold outside, according to some of its owners. The Triton V8 engine might be taking all the heat, but the 2004 Ford F350 is also plagued by structural issues, particularly to its windows. They reportedly have had a hard time rolling up as their regulators are often broken. The rear sliding window has been reported on occasions to be non-functional and leaky, and the visibility from its windshield have also been labeled as below standard. If you can't afford a weekly trip to the mechanic or possibly the doctor, the 2004 Ford F350 is probably one truck you might want to stay away from. Number 4. 2003 Mazda B3000. A year before the 2004 Ford F-150 was released, Ford helped develop the 2003 Mazda B3000, and let's just say it did not do the best of jobs. As you'll soon find out, many Ford-developed trucks have a rust problem, and the 2003 Mazda B3000 is no different. When you drive on a muddy terrain, as most trucks often do, you're often exposed to rust-causing moisture, and Ford trucks don't do a great job at preventing the damage. The 2003 Mazda B3000 also suffers from more structural integrity problems, such as its plastic door handles, which wear out and even break easily when extensively exposed to heat. The metallic part of its fuel filler hose often gets cracked and causes leaks which prevent fuel from getting into the fuel tank. Speaking of fuel tanks, the 2003 Mazda B3000's 3.0-liter Vulcan V6 engines also reportedly often suffer from overheating, over-the-top fuel consumption, and sometimes even complete engine failure, and its faulty odometer makes it difficult to know when you need an oil change. The 2003 Mazda B3000 may seem unreliable, but it probably suffers this fate from its old age more than anything else. At this stage, some of you may be wondering, yeah, the trucks so far are unreliable, but they're also relatively old models. Well, think again, because some of the entrants into this unreliability list are actually recent models, like this next truck. Number 5. 2021 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Be honest, you probably weren't expecting to see a Chevy on this list, but believe us, the 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500 is a more than worthy entry. Transmission issues from its 5.0-liter Ecotec 3 V8 engine have the truck shuddering whenever its owners attempt to accelerate or switch gears. This fault is reportedly caused by the failure of the engine's camshaft lifter. Worse still, the truck has no warning lights for this on the dashboard, so it just takes drivers by surprise. The 2021 Chevy Silverado is also plagued by electrical problems, as there have also been reports of issues with its stereo system, surface brakes, airbags, and exterior lighting, as well as excessive noise coming from the driver's side front wheel. Meanwhile, its engine still suffers from problems with its cylinder head, head gasket, turbocharger, and timing belt. There have also been multiple reports of the 2021 Chevy Silverado suffering sudden explosions and catching fire, which is a rather huge safety compromise. So if you don't want to risk getting turned into a human barbecue, then you probably need to avoid this particular Chevy truck. Number 6. 2021 Ford F-150 Hybrid. The Ford F-150 is one of the most popular and best-selling trucks of all time, so it's kind of surprised to see it make yet another appearance on this list. However, looks and reputations can be deceiving, and the 2021 F-150 Hybrid is a peculiar example of this. When you look at the issues that plague the F-150 Hybrid, it becomes obvious that it's Ford's first attempt at a hybrid vehicle. It occasionally suffers from structural integrity issues such as failing trailer brakes, inoperative windshield wipers, and ineffective seat belts. In some cases, the F-150 Hybrid's heat and noise insulators loosen and come in contact with the aluminum drive shaft, causing damage to the drive shaft that could lead to a loss of vehicle control. It's also reportedly uncomfortable at highway speeds, while also being difficult to park due to its poor handling and stability qualities. Electrical system problems are also not uncommon on the F-150 Hybrid, with issues such as failing batteries and a chattering retractable gear selector. And despite being a hybrid-powered vehicle, it still somehow manages to suffer from poor fuel economy. Quite disappointing when you really think about it. Number 7. 2013 GMC Sierra 1500. Another entry from General Motors on this list following the 2021 Chevrolet Silverado is the 2013 GMC Sierra 1500. The 2013 GMC Sierra truck occasionally suffers from a number of issues with its position sensor and selector switches, which makes it difficult for drivers to know if they're in four-wheel drive mode or not. It also tends to be plagued by heating and air conditioning problems later on in its life cycle due to a broken actuator. Owners of the 2013 Sierra have also complained of a faulty fuel pump or fuel level sensor, which makes it almost impossible for them to know how much gas is actually left in the tank. And there's also been the odd complaint of clunking sounds coming from the steering. Structural integrity and electrical problem concerns also exist in the 2013 Sierra, with driver complaints of broken door handles, faulty speedometers, and daytime running lights burning out prematurely. Some of these issues admittedly occur on Sierras, which have amassed a significant amount of mileage, so the 2013 Sierra is one of the more reliable trucks on this list. Meanwhile, the next truck is quite the opposite. Number 8. 2019 Dodge Ram 1500. You would think manufacturers of the Dodge Ram trucks learned their lesson from their 2006 failures. But nope. Over a decade later, and the company dropped yet another unreliable truck with the 2019 variant. The 2019 Dodge Ram is plagued with a multitude of issues, ranging from electrical system glitches to transmission issues to suspension troubles and exhaust system problems. Its infotainment system sometimes freezes unexpectedly, so does its rear view mirror display. It struggles on drives with low payloads due to its suspension issues, making long drives rather uncomfortable. Some owners experience rough shifts or delays in gear engagement, and its poor emission control leads to increased fuel consumption and air pollution. There have also been reports of the 2019 Dodge Ram having its steering wheel stuck in the 11 o'clock position and being unable to shift out of first gear. All of these defects have reportedly resulted in diminished performances and even a few crashes, which isn't a great look for Dodge trucks. Number 9. The 2016 Nissan Titan. Next up, we have the 2016 Nissan Titan, Nissan's first entry into our list. The Titan isn't woeful by any stretch, but it was plagued with a number of issues which rendered it quite unpopular. The biggest negative aspect of the Titan is its concerning transmission issues. Drivers noticed that the truck struggled while shifting, when trying to tow loads or climb up mountain roads, and it often shuddered even while driving on plain roads. As a matter of fact, in 2019, Nissan recalled tens of thousands of Titan trucks because they tended to roll away while shifted in park mode. The 2016 Titan also consumed quite a lot of fuel when compared to other trucks similar in size. There were complaints of faulty oxygen sensors or dirty air filters being the cause of this. But when you examine its structural integrity, you realize the issue goes much deeper than that. There were owner reports of the Titan seats vibrating while driving or even coming dislodged from their frames after a few years of use. Headlight issues, rear seatbelt and wiring harness failures, as well as faulty infotainment screens also underlined the truck's poor structural integrity and mediocre electrical systems. The problem of the 2016 Nissan Titan ultimately led to its demise, and Nissan ended up discontinuing production of this truck. But before we discontinue the video, it's time to reveal the final truck on our list. Number 10. The 2019 Ford F350. Propping up on the list, we have yet another Ford truck. It's important to state that this list isn't in any particular order, so this truck might be the last, but not necessarily the worst. But the 2019 Ford F350 might as well be. Have you ever heard of a death wobble? It's a violent side-to-side shaking of a vehicle's wheels that occurs at high speeds and can lead to a loss of control. It's also a common experience on the 2019 Ford F350, with some owners reporting near-death experiences while driving the truck. When it's not wobbling, the 2019 Ford F350 is sometimes guilty of leaking from its panoramic sunroof. So you may be safe from the F350's violent wobbles, but you're never too far from the consequences of its structural integrity and electrical system issues. The 2019 F350's truck front brake rotors warp under very little mileage. It tends to suffer from oil leaks due to the brittleness of a spring inside its positive crankcase ventilation system. It occasionally suffers from fractures to its aluminum drive shaft, and there have also been owner reports of spark plugs ejecting from the engine head, which is a fault that could potentially lead to fire outbreaks. If you're okay with minor death wobbles and potential fire outbreaks, then the 2019 Ford F350 has cool features like heated seats, which may be of interest to you. So there you have it, our list of trucks you probably wouldn't rely on to surpass the 60,000 mile mark. Unlike them, we hope we can rely on you to hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel. We also hope to see you in the next video.